Hi there guys, welcome to issue 76. So in addition to last week's sprue, we get another one. If I quickly flick ahead, I can tell you that we do get a build guide. But what I will do is I will build the whole thing in one go in next week's issue. Now, is this giving us the full build guide or just for what we've got so far? Cool, this is a huge build guide. Wow. Okay, so this gives us the full guide for everything. So I'm not going to do this until we get the last sprues. But let's go through everything else. It's going to be a lightning quick issue this week, I think. Okay, so what have we got? Repulsor Tank Part 2, Space Marine Tech Marines, and the evacuation of Corvon 2. In this issue comes with your biggest build guide yet because it is your biggest model, the Primaris Repulsor. Though this is a large and complex kit with many options, we have broken the assembly down into easy to follow steps. Once you have the rest of the kit to assemble from your upcoming issues, you'll put the tank together into pieces we call sub-assemblies. Using this process, you will build the model in smaller pieces to make it easier to paint the model. This is similar to how we suggested you build and paint your land speeder and bikes previously. But while in the past you simply left off the Space Marine pilots, the Repulsor has quite a few more parts to paint individually. Don't worry, we'll have a detailed paint guide for you to follow next issue, but you'll be building and painting your Repulsor in no time. Till then, there's an article on Space Marine Tech Marines for you to read, and an exciting new mission for you to play. Okay, so it is a really trimmed down issue. And it's not great for us this week because all we get to do really is read about Tech Marines and then look at the mission. Okay, so Space Tech Marines. Some Space Marines have a great command of war machines. These warriors train with the Adeptus Mechanicus to join the machine cult, becoming Tech Marines. Okay. Tech Marines have knowledge of the Omnissiah's greatest mysteries. They know the many holy rites used to activate and repair machinery. This knowledge is crucial in keeping the chapter's weaponry and war machines in full working order. Having trained on Mars and been inducted into the machine cults, the Space Marines have divided loyalties which often distance themselves from their battle brothers. However, they fight every bit as fiercely for their chapter as any of their comrades, proving their loyalty as they wade into battle with power axe swinging and servo arm deploying advanced weapons against the foe. Okay, so the Master of the Forge. The highest ranking Tech Marine in each chapter is its Master of the Forge. These skilled engineers have proven that their understanding of the machine god's mysteries is almost as great as that of the Martian Tech Magi. This allows them to maintain not only the chapter's ancient war machines, but also its precious relics. Okay, that's interesting. And then we've got Thunderfire Cannons. A Tech Marine stands near the chapter's long-ranged artillery, ready to offer repairs or prayers should they be required. The enemies who get too close will swiftly be engulfed in a storm of fire from a Thunderfire Cannon. Okay. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so what have we got? Again, without the rest of the sprues, there's not much we can do on this. So perhaps when we get our final sprue, I'll do a build guide just for the Repulsor tank. Then I can kind of keep it separate from that issue. So it's kind of just a follow-up to issue 76. But then I'm assuming that next week is just going to be a massive paint guide anyway. Okay. Well, it all looks awesome anyway. Right. Let's have a look at the mission. Nowhere to run. With most of the Ultramarines forces tied up escorting supply convoys and withdrawing remaining wounded to Barachius, several of their forward operating bases have been left lightly guarded. The Death Guard's Lord of Contagion have begun targeting these positions, hoping to break their enemy's chain of reinforcement and command and restrict the area in which the Ultramarines can operate. It is better to die for the Emperor than to live for yourself. Okay, so Scorn asunder. The Death Guard forces advancing on Scorn have already penetrated the city limits and are heading for the central plaza and the Space Marines operating base. They must capture this position. So the battlefield roll off, and starting with the winner, take turns placing the battle mats in the layout shown above. Set up the terrain in an agreed manner. Both players place 2 objective markers. Roll off to see who places the first. They must be placed more than 6 inches from the battlefield edge and more than 8 inches from each other. So we've got a battle-forged army with a power rating of a maximum of 40. Both deployment zones are shown in the map above. Players roll off and the winner chooses their deployment zone. Players then alternate deploying their units, beginning with the player chosen to deploy first. The player who finished setting up their army first takes the first turn. Okay, and the victory conditions are eliminating a unit, 1 victory point. Have a unit in the enemy deployment zone at the end of the game is another. Control an objective marker is 1 victory point. If you control an objective marker, so you control it by having more enemies within 3 inches at the end of the game, and it lasts for 5 battle rounds. So that is it's just a standard 40k scenario really, ending in deployment zones. So that's pretty good. Got some stuff here about the Citadel colour system. Your paint collection has only just begun with Warhammer 40,000 Conquest. Games Workshop sells a huge range of Citadel colour paints designed to help you with your next painting project. And the Citadel colour app and website are there to help you select the right paints and techniques. So let's have a look. Let's see what it says about the air paints. I've seen a lot of people slating Games Workshop recently for their videos on air paints. If you've seen them and you have used an airbrush before, you will know you do not pour this paint directly into your airbrush. Okay, so they're saying some hobbyists invest in airbrushes in order to paint their armies quicker and allow them to get smoother coats of paint. The range of over 70 Citadel air paints is formulated for airbrushes. It can be used straight out of the pot. No, it can't. It's too thick. Do you know what? I'm actually jumping on the bandwagon there. I think I've been told by everyone I know who uses an airbrush that it's too thick. If anyone disagrees, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear that actually. Technical paints. So blah, 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 blah. Texture for bases. Are they used to add extra effects such as blood and corrosion to your models? What have we got? What do they say about contrast paints? The newest addition to the Citadel paint range. Contrast paints are designed to provide a shade and base coat in one go. With over 30 contrast paints to use, you can finish your army in no time. Okay. Interesting. I don't really talk about painting and that sort of thing on the channel, but what are people's thoughts on contrast paints? I use them for various stuff. I don't ever use them on their own. I use them to get a quicker start on models and that kind of thing. I like them for using them like that. I don't think they look that great if you only use contrast on a model, but you know, whatever gets you painting, that's great. So I've got a few friends that use it a lot because they like to get things built up and get it straight on the battlefield, and that is great. Personally, I like to see them used as a starter and then taken over with some more conventional paints afterwards. Okay, right, and so next week, issue 77 and 78, we've got Repulsor Tank Part 3 and 4. So that's it. It's a bit of an anticlimax this week, to be fair. We've got a massive build guide that we can't use. We've got a mission that doesn't give us anything new particularly. Yeah. So we've got 4 issues left of Conquest. When I'm done with this, I'll be reviewing the entire range. So I'll be going through all of my folders that will include all my stuff for the full 80 issues. I'll be reviewing it all. I may, if people want to, I may go back on the paint guide and run through that, because most of my stuff is actually not painted at all. I paint a lot of my other things that I collect. I don't actually play a lot of 40k, to be fair. But if it's something that people want and they want to keep up to date with, I may do some paint guides just for the Conquest range. So if that's something that people would be interested in, let me know. But yeah, that's it for this week, really. So I've got a whole ton of Warcry stuff going up on the channel over the next week or two. And I'll see you next week for Conquest issue number 77 and Mortal Realms issue number 6. So thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.